Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of Remastered, the series where we take art from 2D video games and reimagine them in 3D. I'm Noah, and today we're going to be doing the Junimos from Stardew Valley. Junimos? Jujulos? How do you pronounce that?
Junimo.
Junimo. I got it right the first time. So I originally had a pretty different video planned for today. I was gonna remake the farmhouse from Stardew Valley, and I did. Unfortunately, OBS, for some reason, outputted the video in the wrong resolution. Not a big deal. No, we'll just, it's fine. Just low res video, whatever. We'll just upload it. Then I looked at it. I could count the pixels. You guys don't want that. So instead, I am going to, at the end of the video, show you the renders that I took of it. If you guys want to download the farmhouse renders that I made as a background for your phone, your PC, your tablet, whatever, you can check them out on my Patreon. They're available for download there in a very high resolution, so they will fit all of your devices and look nice, no matter what you're looking at them on. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know what you guys want to see in the next episode. I'm really excited about this series, and I'm really excited to just make stuff. So let's jump into it. So the first thing I had to do was go and find some reference images for the Junimos. Now you'd think this would be a pretty easy task, but nope, not for me. The problem was that there was a bunch of really good fan art from people online, but I couldn't actually find the sprite sheet for the Junimos, anywhere. Eventually I just worked with a couple fan art drawings that I found that I really liked, and some screenshots of the Junimos that I took in game. With my references in hand, I held my head high and started with a cube that had subdivision surface modifier to give it a rounder shape. I was going to use a sphere, but I found it easier to get the gumdrop shape from a cube. After the little chubby body was complete, I went ahead and made the eyes with just two spheres I smushed to make less spherical. Now, I just want to say, I've always been a huge fan of pixel art. I mean, it's mind-blowing to me. Just look at this shit. Seriously, I have all the respect in the world for pixel artists because there are zero mistakes. Now, if it were me, it'd be easy. I could just cover up 96% of my mistakes with texturing and nobody would be any the wiser. But for pixel artists, you only have 32 little fucking squares to work with, so if one of them's a rectangle, everybody's gonna point and laugh at you. What I find even more amazing, though, is that all of Stardew Valley, from the art to the music to the code, was all done by one dude. What's even more mind-boggling to me is that Stardew Valley just started out as a piece to fill up his portfolio so he could get a better job, and he never even expected anything out of it.
So I decided to start making a game, a slightly bigger game, to just basically get better at programming and to have something to put on my resume.
Fucking alright then, mister. I sold 500,000 copies in the first 2 weeks. Meanwhile, I'm just excited to finish one Skyrim mod every 2 months. The arms and legs were easy enough, just kind of tedious. I shaped a Bezier curve into the position of the arms and legs, and then I increased the depth to give it some geometry. After that, I converted them to a mesh and then rounded out the ends. From there, it was just making the little cheek blushes, which was just a plane with a subdivision surface modifier and a shrink wrap modifier to get them perfectly aligned to the face. Then I applied those modifiers and I added a solidify modifier and smoothed it out. Last but not least, there was the leaf and the stem. The stem was the same deal as the arms and the legs, Bezier curve, increased the depth, and then round out the ends. The leaf, on the other hand, was a little bit more complicated. Starting out with a plane, I roughly formed it into a leaf. Then I added a subsurface modifier to smooth it out, and added a few loop cuts to coerce it into a more lively shape. I applied the modifiers, and I smoothed out the geometry, and it was done. For the other Junimos, it was the same deal. I just positioned the arms and legs differently while they were still Bezier curves. If you want to hear me go into deeper detail on the Junimos and gain access to behind-the-scene footage, check out my Patreon, where you can get access to high-resolution renders to use as backgrounds on your phone, PC, or whatever else you want. You'll also be able to download the blend file from each week's video and tune into special live streams where you can watch me make next week's video live. Link is in the description, but please don't donate unless you're comfortably able to do so. But for all of you that can, it really does mean the world. All I did was color the arms, legs, eyes, and stem with a near black color that had its roughness turned down to 0.35. Then leaf had a roughness of 0.45 and was the same color as the rest of the body. For the body, it was a duplicated leaf texture with the roughness turned down to 0.13 and the transmission up to 0.85 to make it look like jelly. What I really like about this material, though, is that it allows me to have a fucking RGB gaming Junimo. You can get this little guy for the limited time only at the low, low price of $99.90. And that's gonna do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching the first episode of Remastered. I had a lot of fun making it, if you guys couldn't tell by the different type of video that I made this week, but I'm really enjoying it, and I already know what I'm gonna be doing for next week's episode. I'll give you a hint, it rhymes with Smallowhite. I just want to say, again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I can't wait to see you next week. Links to the Patreon and my portfolio are down in the description below if you guys want to check those things out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you want to see in the upcoming episodes. I'm really excited to keep this series going and just making a ton of new stuff. So thank you guys again, and I will see you guys next time.